Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I have got wonderful news. We've got a new Trainer's Toolkit. Trainer's Toolkit is, as far as I'm concerned at least, one of the absolute best Pokemon TCG products we have. I think it doesn't really get much better than the Trainer's Toolkit. I think this is hands down one of just the best things that Pokemon makes. It's great for new players, but it's also really, really good for anyone. I mean, look, there's going to be some real hardcore players that play all the time, have a huge collection, have a bunch of decks made. For those people, yeah, fine, Trainer's Toolkit is actually kind of superfluous. But that's like it. That's about the only people for whom the Trainer's Toolkit is a little bit rubbish. For everybody else, it's genuinely awesome. And I cannot say enough nice things about the Trainer's Toolkit just as a product. It's brilliant and wonderful and awesome, and I absolutely love it. Although, I don't want to be that guy, but they haven't given us an alternate art this year, now have they? I don't know. I'm sure it will be fine. Now, this is due for release on the 24th of October and is retailing for $35, and you get yourself a bunch of stuff. And look, let's just look right at the front of the box here. We get a Fezandipiti. You just get a Fezandipiti just chucked in the box. That is genuinely fantastic. Huge fan of this, because it's just one of the most annoying cards to get hold of right now. It is one of the most expensive, just regular Pokemon EXs that we have. Like, according to TCG Player right now, the regular version of Fezandipiti is like a $15 card. And the reason is, it's ridiculously playable, an awful lot of decks need it, and that just adds up to it being very, very expensive to actually try and get hold of. So now we just chuck it in a product like this. And it's genuinely awesome. Pokemon have started doing this a lot in recent years. And the reason very simply is they hired a bunch of people to work in the relevant departments who play the game a lot. Players who know exactly what other players need and what everyone's going to be excited about. And then they go and make it happen. And it's why we get stuff like this a lot. You know, let's not forget back in, I believe it was 2022 Trainer's Toolkit, we got the alternate art of Luminion V, which was, you know, an absolute staple in an awful lot of decks. Last year's Trainer's Toolkit, the one in 2024, we got the alternate art of Squawkabilly, which, again, superbly playable Pokemon, one that sees a lot of play everywhere. And at this stage, you might be going, well, hang on a second, Wassy. You told us that the Squawkabilly was alternate art. It was. You told me that Luminion was alternate art. It was. And actually, while we're here, a couple of years ago, we had an alternate art Crobat in one as well. Another one that saw a huge amount of play. Which does beg the question, why no alternate art here? How come in all the other years they got an alternate art, but this year we don't? Good question. Don't know. It is a negative for what it's worth. It is something that actually makes the Trainer's Toolkit significantly worse. I don't think it's some kind of like huge deal that ruins the product or anything like that, but it is a little bit disappointing. I, for one, really appreciate the fact that we do get these alternate arts every year, and it kind of makes me a little bit sad that we're not getting an alternate art this year. We are getting a reprint of just one of the absolute best cards in the game. If you had a Pokemon KO'd last turn, it lets you draw 3 cards. It doesn't stack, so even if you've got multiple Fezandipiti, you only get to use it once. But that's still just a phenomenal card. Sees a huge amount of play, and it's a $35 box. And it's got a $15 EX in there just before we get going. Excellent. What else do we have? Free Ace Specs. Now, in terms of the Ace Spec choice here, I am going to put it down as slightly curious. Because we've got Maximum Belt, a decent enough Ace Spec, does 50 extra damage to the Pokemon EX you're battling against. It's all right. I don't think it's some kind of like best A-Spec in the game or anything. Has seen a bunch of play in the past. Will see play still in the future. It's good, but I don't know if right now it's in that real top tier of A-Specs. Same thing with Hyper Aroma. Lets you go and search for as many, 3 Stage 1 Pokemon, which most of the time should be enough, and whack it into your hand. Again, we're talking about a card that's seen a bunch of play and is a very good card. But then by the same token, it's not in that real top tier of A-Spec. You take me back to NAIC last year in 2024, and yeah, this thing was everywhere. Well, that was more than a year ago at this stage. That card just isn't what it was. And then we've got Grand Tree, which I feel like I mentioned on this channel a lot, because it's the one that, now you have to wait till the Pokemon would be able to evolve, but you get to search your deck for a Stage 1 and evolve your basic, and then search for a Stage 2 and evolve that same Stage 1, and basically if you would be able to evolve the basic, you get Grand Tree and go straight up to a Stage 2. It's clearly phenomenal. So we get a trio of A-Specs coming in there as well, which is actually really kind of awesome. And like I say, they're not necessarily the biggest and bestest A-Specs, but they're still good A-Specs. We then got ourselves some dice. They're cool. They look a little bit sparkly. I don't think they're ones we desperately need. There's been dice in a million different products over the years, but it's still nice that we get them. And then you get yourself 4 booster packs, and if the promo images are to be believed, and there's no guarantee, but I think they're probably about right, then you're getting 2 Mega Evolution and 2 Destined Rivals, which are the last 2 main sets. Black Bolt and White Flare was an extra set, as well as also being just really good sets that people are after. So I think if you add all of this up, it's actually really, really nice. This is a product that I've got my eye on, frankly. It's something which I tend to pick these up, and I probably will next year. For what it's worth, there is a little description on the back. It goes like this. Everything you need to build a powerful deck. Turn your card collection into playable, fun, and competitive Pokemon trading card game decks. Inside this box, you'll find a plethora of trainer cards, including A-Spec cards. Fun fact, the one we got there has forgotten to put a space between cards and including. Plus a strategy guide to putting them all together to create a deck that showcases your best Pokemon. You'll find everything you need to help you make the choices every deck builder faces. More strong Pokemon? More strategic trainer cards? How much energy is too much? Steer a course for completely new decks, original combos, and all the fun of head-to-head competition with the Pokemon TCG Trainers Toolkit. Because that is the point of this. When I said at the beginning, it's basically for anyone that doesn't just have a huge amount of decks already built. Yeah, that's what it is. It is a product which is designed, and you only get 4 packs for $35, but then you also get yourself a bunch of cards. Now, I've told you about the Fezandipiti and the free A-Spec because they're the ones we've been shown. I can show you those cards because we have images of those cards. I can't show you any of the other cards. You know, we've got this lovely promo image, which is lovely, but it just shows you the 4 cards I've already shown you. It doesn't actually show you anything else, which is a little bit sad, but there's not much we can do about it. But it's going to be a bunch of other basically playable cards, staples, the kind of cards that are going to go into a bunch of decks. Like I've said, this is an annual product. We get one of these every year, and they're always brilliant. And there are players out there for whom they're going to look at this and be like, yeah, there's no alternate arts and you only get 4 packs. There is absolutely no way I'm buying that. And that's a fair reaction. If you've got a big collection of competitive cards, you've got a bunch of decks made, that's about right. Oh, you also get a little booklet, by the way, to help you make decks, which is kind of cool. Little how-to guide, which is very fun. I should say, if we have a look at the front of the box here quickly, then what you get is 50 cards, 4 packs, 65 sleeves, a strategy guide, 6 damage dice, a coin flipping die, and the same condition markers we've had for a while. I don't believe we've got an image of the sleeves. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. I am wrong about that. Here is a picture of the sleeves. It looks very much kind of like the book, honestly. But it's kind of cool. You get, there's your sleeves. There we go. I've shown it to you. So look, there's going to be a few people who don't need this. For everybody else, this gets you Fezandipiti, free ace specs, a bunch of other playable cards, 4 booster packs, sleeves and dice. And this is one of those products where I always say to everybody, if you want to get into playing the Pokemon TCG competitively, this is an absolute, hands down, no-brainer. It is a phenomenal product, and it's one that I cannot recommend highly enough. But I've told you all about it now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Do you normally pick them up? Will you be picking up this year's? How sad are you there isn't an alternate art? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's one of our longest supporting patrons over at patreon.com/PTCGradio, and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.